Rahman Ibn Auf. He was known for his good and strong character, and he was very successful in business, yet he was humble, kind, and generous. He was one of the first 8 people to accept Islam. Before Omar died, may Allah be pleased with him, he selected 6 pious people to form the Shura council, which would be responsible to choose the Khalifa after his death. Abdur Rahman was one of those 6 men. It is said that he accepted Islam only 2 days after Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, and that was before the Prophet entered the house of Al-Arqam. The early Muslims suffered greatly at the hands of the Quraysh, and Abdur Rahman suffered patiently along with them. When they were compelled to leave Mecca for Abyssinia, Abdur Rahman went with them. He heard that conditions had improved in Mecca and that he could live in peace there. So he returned, but sadly, he left once again for Abyssinia on a second migration because the report he heard was not true. Later, he migrated yet again from Mecca and this time traveled to Medina. In Medina, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, joined the Muhajirin and the Ansar together in a strong bond of brotherhood. Abdur Rahman was joined up with Sa'd ibn al-Rabi'a by the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Sa'd and others like him became responsible for the Muhajir in their care, and so offered Abdur Rahman everything he could possibly need to settle in Medina. He even offered him half of all he possessed, but Abdur Rahman said in reply, "May Allah bless you in your family and your wealth, but just show me where the market is." Abdur Rahman was very clever at business, and Allah, the Almighty, blessed him greatly. So he went to the marketplace and began trading with whatever little resources he had with him. He soon started to make money, and his trade and profits grew rapidly. Soon he had enough wealth to get married. Abdur Rahman was also a brave warrior. He distinguished himself in both the battles of Badr and Uhud. At Uhud, he remained firm throughout the difficult time and suffered more than 20 wounds, some of them deep and painful. Once the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was preparing to send out an army. He called his companions and said, "Give charity, for I want to dispatch an expedition." Abdur Rahman went to his house and quickly returned. "O Messenger of Allah," he said, "I have 4,000 dinars. I give 2,000 as a debt to my Lord, and 2,000 I leave for my family." No matter how much money Abdur Rahman had, he always remembered that it was the bounty of his Lord, so he gave some in charity and used the rest to take care of his family. At the Battle of Tabuk, Abdur Rahman was blessed with a great honor which had not been conferred on anyone until then. The time of prayer came, and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was not there at the time. The Muslims chose Abdur Rahman to be their imam. The first rak'ah of the prayer was almost finished when the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, joined the worshippers and performed the prayer behind Abdur Rahman Ibn Auf. What an honor! Imagine, he led the people in prayer, and the Prophet was among them. When the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, passed away, Abdur Rahman committed himself to look after the needs of his family, the mothers of the believers. He used to go with them wherever they wanted, and he even performed Hajj with them to make sure they had everything they needed. This is a sign of how much the Prophet's family trusted him and had confidence in his piety and honesty. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had prayed that Allah would bestow barakah on the wealth of Abdur Rahman, and it was clear that throughout his life he enjoyed success in business. He became the richest man among the companions of the Prophet. His business transactions invariably met with success, and his wealth grew continually. One day, a loud rumbling sound was heard coming from outside the city of Medina. That was usually a calm and peaceful city. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, heard the commotion and asked, "What is this? What's happening in Medina?" She was told, "It is the caravan of Abdur Rahman Ibn Auf." Aisha could hardly believe it. A caravan is making all this commotion? She asked, "Yes, O al-Mu'mineen, there are 700 camels." Aisha shook her head in wonder and gazed into the distance as if she was trying to recall some scene or words from the past, and then she said, "I heard the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings be upon him, say, I have seen Abdur Rahman Ibn Auf entering paradise creeping." This means that he was a pious and humble man, even though he was so rich.